On Monday, Judge Tanya Chutkan issued a partial gag order on former President Donald Trump. Later that same day, he went on to just about break it.
A judge gave a gag order today. Did you hear that on speech? Which I believe is totally unconstitutional, what she did. A judge gave a gag order. A judge doesn't like me too much. Her whole life is not liking me. But she gave a gag order. You know what a gag order is? You can't speak badly about your opponent. But this is weaponry all being done because Joe Biden is losing the election and losing very, very badly to all of us in the polls. He's losing badly.
Oh, well, that didn't take very long, did it? All right, so first off, he's of course lying. Now, look, there's a gag order. That is true. But the gag order does not say that he can't criticize Joe Biden. Of course he can. Joe Biden has nothing to do with the order. There was nothing involved in the order at Joe Biden at all. What it does is that it actually prohibits any Trump statements targeting the special counsel or his staff. That's special counsel Jack Smith. Also, he cannot target the judge or her court staff and their families. Yes, she had to add in, by the way, you also cannot target our families. Look, Trump had already gone after Jack Smith's wife in a post. She has nothing to do with it. She has nothing to do with the case, with the prosecution. Again, there's a reason, okay? There's a reason she had to do this. That said, what he can do is say how he is being unfairly persecuted even. And by the way, he's also free to complain about Washington, D.C., where the trial is being held. In fact, Chutkan said that Trump's criticism of D.C. would undermine his arguments that he can't get a fair trial there. American courts generally do not entertain claims of jury bias if a defendant is openly criticizing the jury pool in an attempt to have a case moved or delayed. So, okay, criticize D.C. as much as you want. This hurts your own case. Cool. Chutkan also said that Trump's attacks on D.C., which he called filthy and crime-ridden embarrassment to our nation, could be handled during jury screening when attorneys ask questions of potential jurors to see if they have a negative or positive feelings towards a defendant. So, now, I mentioned that he might have broken this already. Well, where was it? Well, he criticized the judge. He inferred that she was essentially a political hack, that she was under the control of Joe Biden. Now, that said, this is actually Trump being more careful than he was in the past. Now, remember, in his prior statements, he has called Smith both deranged and a thug, and had called him and the judge, Judge Chutkan, partisan hacks. So he's still saying that now, just not as directly. During the hearing, the gag order hearing, she did say, "I can't imagine any other criminal case where a defendant is allowed to call the prosecutor deranged or a thug," and added that Trump's presidential candidacy does not give him carte blanche to encourage violence on public servants simply doing their job. So, I mean, this is what's important, right? Trump claims that it's his First Amendment rights as he's running for president in order to criticize the judge. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to take this prosecution, or he has been taking this prosecution, and saying, oh, it's just the political reasons. Look, they're all Joe Biden, Obama appointees. That's right. Obama. Gotta bring him back into it. Because, it's so unfair and they all hate me and this is why I'm being persecuted. Don't listen to any of these charges of the things that I allegedly actually did. Which includes fraud. Fraud. Yes. And of course, trying to steal an election, which again, of course, he goes and he projects and he blames the other side. No, it was them. They were trying to steal the election. In fact, all of this, attempted prosecution, this is just their way of trying to steal the election. If you literally look right now, Donald Trump is leading the Republican primary, and also in quite a few swing states is ahead of Joe Biden. He literally doesn't have to do any of that, right? He just has to keep running the election. That's it. And by the way, to talk about issues and try to get to the left of Biden on certain issues in his rhetoric. Now, of course, I'm talking rhetoric here because there's no way he's going to go to the left on Biden on anything because that's not who he is. But he can lie. And he's pretty good at it. So there's more, by the way. She had talked about some of his previous statements, where Trump had gotten himself in trouble. One of them was a True Social post that Trump had published at 11:30 p.m. on Sunday night, hours before she was even due to consider the gag order. In the post, Trump wrote, "Tomorrow's a big day for democracy. A leaking, crooked, and deranged prosecutor, Jack Smith, who has a terrible record of failure, is asking a highly partisan Obama-appointed judge, Tanya Chutkin, who should recuse herself based on the horrible things that she said, to silence me through the use of a powerful gag order, making it impossible for me to criticize those who are doing the silencing, namely crooked Joe Biden and his corrupt and weaponized DOJ and FBI." Now, reflecting on those statements here, the following day, Judge Chutkin said, quote, "I'm not confident that without some kind of restriction, we won't be in here all the time." Referencing, of course, the legal ramifications of these statements if Trump would continue to push more and more inflammatory posts, because that's what it is. Now, Trump, he's showing you what he's going to do by doing it, which is to post through it, and not just post through it, but do live video. Lovely. In fact, addressing the caucus for Trump rally in Adel, Iowa, Trump criticized the, quote, weaponized elections and all the stuff they do. Yes. So look, he's already crossing the line. The question is, of course, is the court going to do anything about it? Well, I don't know. How many times is it going to take? And, with him, yes, barely crossing that line before something is done or before he decides to ramp it up even further. Because there's going to be an escalation. The question is when, if she decides before then to do something about it, to issue a more full gag order, I don't know, or some sort of punishment for violating it. Again, that's up to her, and we'll just have to wait and see.